Hey y'all, welcome back to my old Kentucky homeroom. Thank you so much to everyone who sent me a video request. Today I want to focus on a marketing activity and a marketing project that I love to do at the end of the year. So stick around for a little business and marketing education unwrapped.
Down where the bluegrass grows and the country cold wind blows, where the city lights still glow, to my old Kentucky home, my old Kentucky home. Ooh.
Hey everybody, I want to thank you again so much for watching my channel. Please like and subscribe so that way you get notifications every time I post a video. As I said, today we're going to talk about one of my favorite marketing activities and then a project that goes along with it. I think you guys will really enjoy this one. So let's get started. All right, before we begin, let me give credit where credit is due. I did not come up with this activity. I found this activity and this website when I attended MBA Conclave in Louisville a couple of years ago through an organization called Youth Entrepreneurs. I'll put a link to all of the files and activities that I have as they are. I do go and edit them and make them fit my class, but you can do the same. So in the description box below, I'll give you a link to a Google Drive that has the activities for this specific document. Again, this is not mine. I got it from Youth Entrepreneurs. They are an amazing website. They currently have 2 websites that might be of interest to you, but they're consolidating to one in the future. So if you go there, it should redirect you at some point to another one. And the first one is the YE Academy, and the other one is teachereverywhere.com. And there's all kinds of activities related mostly to entrepreneurship, but it really covers a lot of those soft skills that we have to teach. And it's just a great place to go for some quick ideas, very fun, engaging. And then YE is a whole nother video, a whole nother baby on its own. If you're going to summer conference, please attend my session on YE. It's going to be pretty awesome, if I do say so myself. Okay, so this first activity is called Branded in Memory. And this year is actually the first year that I did this activity, but it fits so well with the project I'm going to talk about. Now, the activity does not necessarily have to be done at the end of the year. I only do the project that I'm talking about with this one at the end of the year because it kind of fits into my employability unit that I teach at the end of the year. So, Branded in Memory just, I mean, you can look over this teacher's guide. It just talks about how companies are spending so much money on their logos. Are they really worth the money that these companies are paying for it? And so as you go throughout this, I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but this is about 60 minutes. If you don't have index cards like it calls for, I used Post-it notes. It's best if you use white ones. You'll need some sort of markers or colored pencils and things like that. And then maybe some of those large Post-it papers or some poster board or just something that you can put around the room with the various company names on them so that students can put their drawings on it. So basically what you do is you write the names of these 10 companies, and it has them listed here, on a separate poster board or a separate area of your whiteboard or however you want to do it. And then, you know, it gives you the activity directions here. Hand them out 10 index cards or 10 white Post-it notes or whatever you've got. It doesn't have to be white, but it's just better if it is white, okay? And one at a time, you're gonna have students draw from memory each of the logos for those companies. Now, I will say, if some of these companies aren't local to your area or, you know, they're not really well known, your students might struggle, but that's okay. You could do other ones, but you're not going to have the resources available that go along with this one. So you give the kids 20 minutes or break it up however you see fit to draw each of the logos, no more than really 2 minutes apiece, okay? Once they're done, then you allow them about 5 minutes to go around the room and tape their drawings to the poster of the company that it goes with, okay? And then after that, I broke my students up into groups of 10, and each group went to one of the posters, and their job for a few minutes was to organize the drawings from what they thought was best to worst. And there's also a website that I'm going to show you, or to an article that has, you know, some of this broken down for you. And so once you do that, then I like to go to this website and have them fill out the worksheet that comes with it. Let me show you the worksheet as well. Also, another great thing about this before I move on is the activity debriefs. This is where the students really have those aha moments. So anytime that I use a YE activity, make sure that you cover the debrief with your students. You can change the questions to fit what you're learning a little bit more, or to have further discussion, but I really recommend going through these debrief questions at the end. So this is the worksheet that they get for the second part. And they go around and they look at each of the logos based on the features, and this will make a little more sense after I show you the article in a moment. But so one of the logos is Apple. I remember that now. And so some key features of the apple are that there is no leaf, that the bite is taken out of the correct side that your students have drawn on. Did they draw an old or new logo? And so pick out various features, and then have your students calculate, well, how many of these drawings that we have had this feature? What's the total number of drawings, and what's the percentage of drawings with these features? And that kind of also gives you some real world math there. And then you do a color analysis, because each of them do have specific colors. So that's another important thing. Make sure you provide your students with the colors that they need for this activity, and maybe a few extras, so that way they can, use their brains to pick out which ones go with which activity. Now, I just gave them a standard box of 12 colored pencils from Crayola. You can do whatever, again, suits you. Now, here's this website that actually did this test. They asked 150 people to draw these logos. And again, some of these logos are a little bit outdated because they've even changed since this was posted, but this is good reference and you can always update it. And so here's the Apple logo, the evolution of it. And then here are the drawings that were received for this one. Do not show this until the very end so students can compare their drawings. A lot of these you can tell the apple bite is out on the wrong side. Some of them have a stem, some of them are missing the leaf. It just depends. And then it has kind of a breakdown about how many people had a near perfect drawing, how many people drew a stalk, forgot the leaf, various things. And the colors that were used, the actual color logo ratio, it's only gray, and then the average colors that were used. And so it has this for each of them. It also does a preview of everyone, or like some of the drawings from up there on this document, which I think is pretty neat, and it changes with it. And then it has Adidas, and it has all of the logos that are used. Burger King actually has kind of gone back to this 1970s version, which is interesting, to have a discussion with your students about why they would do that. And again, looking at the color ratios and things like that. So this is a fantastic activity. I absolutely love it. My students had a fantastic time. And it's just really important to encourage them to give their best effort and do their best with the whole thing. So definitely you should send me some pictures of the wonderful artistic abilities your students have produced. Maybe even do the activity before you go through and look at the rest of this document to see if you can do it. They really enjoy that as well. All right, now let's talk about this project that I like to do. Again, I do this one kind of at the end of the year with my employability unit after we've talked all year about the importance of branding and logos and the 4 Ps and things like that. And so for this one, it's about creating a brand for themselves, about students realizing that they have to be employable. And in order to do that, they need to evaluate themselves so that they can portray, communicate all the things necessary to show that they're going to stick out above their competitors or other prospective employees. So in this project, again, it's kind of reaffirming the importance of a brand, and then also having students create their own brand. This one does take 90 minutes. Again, it's a YE activity. And all of the greatness about YE is that you can change everything and make it how it fits your class the best. And so there's a PowerPoint that goes along with this. I'll show you momentarily and kind of go over some of the stuff. Basically, you just need some arts and crafts stuff. You can have students bring in cereal boxes if you want to, but we just create ours out of paper or cardstock instead. And I'll take you through the PowerPoint in just a moment, or maybe even now. But one of the things you could do is turn this into a competition, have students vote on it, and give the one that's voted on the most a prize. Again, all that's in the PowerPoint, but you do not have to follow it verbatim, and you can also change whatever you want to of it. So through YE, there is more information. You could talk about what is a brand, what is branding. It has some of the stuff on here. I changed this PowerPoint. This is it in its original form, so you can use it and change it if you want to. It just talks about perception and value and perceived value, and again, how can we as employees or prospective employees communicate that to the company or the people we want to hire us? Talking briefly about what a brand is, just kind of revisiting those ideas that we had learned earlier in the year. Talk about some of my favorite brands and how I trust them and how disappointing it is when something happens to those favorite brands. And then how brands can be licensed or franchised, and how it's important that, that you don't let someone use your brand or take away your ability to have the perception that you want, and that you're careful about your brand. And so you don't have to do a cereal box necessarily. I do the cereal box because I have the materials already for it. It does have some ideas. You could do t-shirts, a shoebox, things like that. We go through, we talk about the terminology needed, and then I challenge the students. You're going to create your own brand that symbolizes you. And then it has a list of things that your brand has to include on it. A name, a graphic, your ingredients, which are just your personal characteristics, product features and benefits, so the things that you're trying to sell to the employer or whoever it is that you're trying to impress. I make them have some sort of endorsement or cross-promotion strategy, and then any other creative packaging details that they want that go along with the type of package they're creating. Now, for my marketing classes, I specifically also add to this that they have addressed product, place, price, and promotion, because that's important. It's something that we often teach them and drive home as far as marketing goes. Here is maybe not such a good example, but this is the one that I use that's mine. I do have some student examples, but since this is a public channel, I'm not going to post them on here. If as an educator you would like to see some student examples, maybe we can Zoom, just send me an email. So, I pick a term, and again, I have them do a little bit of self-reflection before we do this. We oftentimes even look at maybe some of our social media and see what that says about us, and what is it that we want people to think about us. And I chose a quality that I feel like describes me, which is that I have had a lot of perseverance in my life, and that's a different story altogether. But anyway, so here's the picture. Some students don't like their pictures on stuff. Some students are all like, yeah, put me on there. And so I'll print off their pictures for them, where they can bring in a picture, or they can send me their Bitmoji. Students who are really against having either of those things, I make them find something that relates to them specifically, that like, when I look at this, I know it's you. I had one student one time who just put a picture of the glasses that they wore, because that was something that really stood out about them. And then on the front, I have some, product or features and benefits. This is full of determination. You don't have to give up. It's full of freedom. So take control of your life. One of the things that's on here is a crossword puzzle, and it has like perseverance words, keep going, continue, that's on there. Sold at any life obstacles location. Some students put real stores, that's fine too. Here's my celebrity, Justin Timberlake. Okay, yes, I grew up in the NSYNC days, and I still love Justin Timberlake today. He's so awesome. But anyway, I found a quote and a picture of him that talks about challenging yourself and not giving up. And then, he eats Perseveros every day, so, everybody else should also. This one in particular was the very first one I did, so it doesn't have the 4 Ps, because I did it with a class that was not a marketing class, so it doesn't have all the things. But then there's an ingredients list on this side, integrity, honesty, loyalty, respect, responsibility, just various ingredients. I had one student create a nutritional label, and then went through and put 100% determination, 0 grams of laziness, 0 grams of procrastination. It was pretty cute. So this is a great project, like I said, for the end of the year, really having students assess themselves and what it is that they can sell to employers or promote to employers about their brand. So I hope you guys enjoyed these activities. Please give me some comments on more video ideas. Otherwise, I'm gonna maybe keep going with some end of the year project ideas. If you prefer they be for a different class, that's fine. A lot of the ones that I am gonna go over, I use in multiple classes. I use in my entrepreneurship class, business management class. We use in our marketing classes. Sometimes we do some of the same things in our business and marketing essentials class. So Again, comment down below. Let me know some things that you all still want to hear about or that's important to you right now or you would like some help with right now, and I'll get a new video out next week. See you guys.